What is the data analyticals? What is the data analysis? What is the data mining? So these are the different terms we actually hear in the data science world, right? It's not only data science world. Normally in the companies and when you're talking with the clients, we say that okay, there is the analyticals, there is something called the analysis, and there is something called mining, and there are so many things which is related to the data pre-processing, okay, data cleaning. There are so many terms we actually hear, right? So here, what is the data analytics? So what is the important of this? Data analytics means it is just analyzing the data to find the insights, trends, and answering the questions, and finally you draw the conclusions from that, whatever the data you have it, and that is something about data analyticals. And next one is the data analysis, right? What is the difference between the analyticals and analysis? The analysis is something like, okay, here we do the three steps process: the cleaning, transforming, and modeling the data. It's a complete step, this one, a process of inspecting the cleaning, transforming, and modeling the data with goal of discovering the useful information. So here also, like based on this cleaning, transforming, and modeling the data, we actually draw the decisions. We actually make the decisions whether we can do the investment or not, or like what kind of investments we can plan in the future, or how the customers are receiving our products. So all these things we can actually bring it up in the data analysis, right? So data analytics is something like, okay, trends and insights and answering the business. But the data analysis is something like we'll make a decisions. Okay, so decision making is actually happening of when we do the process of inspecting the all the like transforming and the model data actually. Okay, so next important term is called the data mining. Coming to the point here, what is data mining? Okay, so it's very simple. Data mining is kind of a technique which is also part of data analysis. Okay, data mining is also part of data analysis. It's mainly to focus on the statistical modeling. Okay, to understand the data, like as I said earlier, there is a two types of the data we deal with when it comes to the statistics. There is a population and sample data. The population is something like huge data we are dealing with. Sample is like only like samples of records we picked up, right? So data mining, which we actually use this technique in the various places, like you can see here the focus is statistical, and all these ways we can use it. And next one is, this data analysis actually divided into three categories. Okay, one of the main category I'm going to talk about, that is called exploratory data analysis, and descriptive stats analysis, and confirmatory data analysis. You don't need to remember all these things, but I'm giving that where this exploratory data analysis comes. So exploratory data analysis is one of the type of the data analysis which actually we use into the data science projects, right? We actually talk these terms into the data science projects. Even if you go to the example, any profiles, if you go to the resumes, you can see this question. They're asking like, are you good in this EDA or not? EDA stands for the exploratory data analysis. Most of the data science people will get a profile requirement saying that, are we good at the exploratory data analysis? So we'll see that what is the data analysis, what are the tools we can use it in the in Python or without Python. So all these things we are going to talk in shortly. And descriptive and confirmatory data analysis, these are the different things. Is what are the data analytical tools? Multiple programming languages we use in this, not just Python, guys. Just remember, we use the R language, Python, Julia, Scala, SQL, SAS. These are the programming languages we use in the data analytical tools. So majority of the people will go for the Python, okay, because of its a large community and there are so many open source libraries are available. But also R is very good for it because it is a statistical based programming language. And when I say data analyticals, we actually use the statistics inside that. Okay, all mathematics and statistics, R is the best to fit for that. And let's talk about some tools. What are the tools we can use in the data analytics? The most popular tool name is called Spark. Okay, so Apache Spark, which is mainly used for the data analyticals when you're working onto the big data or unstructured data. And the second thing is the data form. And next one is the Pandas, which is one of the most popular data analytical library, which we use in the Python programming language. Second thing is the Domo, Rapid Miner, and MODIN. I will talk about these tools. Definitely, I'm Dask, and next one is the Ray, and also we have the Rapids, and the last one is something is called it as a static frame. These are the most popular tools now that all organizations are using it, and most companies prefer to use the Spark or Pandas. When it comes to the parallel processing and task mode in Ray, which are more preferred Python based free open source tools, we can use it now. And let's focus now. Data analytics tools. What are the modern tools? Right. The previous one is the general tools. We can use it for any project. But when you're working on to the different projects where your data needs so much of analytical, it's completely depending on the analyticals. There is Apache is also built another tool is called the Superset, which is now trending on the data science community. So this is one of the modern tool. We have the Splice Mission and Skytree, Talent, so amplify your intelligence, Lumify, and the last one is Elastic. What happened? Why did it happen? What is likely to happen? How you make it happen? These are the questions always comes to the companies when they want to grow in the business. So these are the four questions every company asks every day, right? So what happened to their business? Why did it happen? Why sales gone down? Why sales gone up? And what is like to happen? What if my product release today? What is going to happen in the future? This is something called predictive, and how we can make it happen. So after drawing the analysis, what kind of business model I can use to gain the business. So these are the four types of the analysis every company do. So that's what I'm talking about, types of data analytics. The first one is the descriptive analytics. This is where we talk about what happened. And diagnostic analytics, this is trying to find out the root cause. Even it is a success or failure, if you are trying to find out why it is happened. Okay, is it because of I reduce the price of the product that people bought this so many products? Is that like that? Or like if I given the discount to this product on the 20% margin, so this product gone to the there are so many sales. So these are the kind of questions comes into the diagnostic analytics, which is something always important. And predictive analytics is always about the future. This is where we are actually using the artificial intelligence models to predict the price, to predict the weather, or to predict the sales, whatever it is. We actually do with the predictive analytics. And the last one is the like prescriptive analytics, which is very important. How we can make it happen. Okay, these are like the modeling. So you actually prepare the entire modeling. So mostly reinforcement learning will comes into the prescriptive analytics. Okay, so this is something we can talk later. These are the four types of the data analytics every company does nowadays, right? So descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. And in the next slide, this is a Gartner. I think you know, right? Gartner is one of the popular research organizations. So this is the one they are actually explained that in easily. This diagram is taken from the Gartner website, and types of the analytics. So this is what I'm saying, that descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. So this is the question is always asked there. So in the first slide, I mentioned data analytics is something like Q&A. So answering the questions basically, right? So about the data or information. So this is what the question we ask, like what happened. And so we say that example, you can see there are two examples here. So one is with the cars, which is automobile. Another one is healthcare. So how many cars did you sell last year? This is something called descriptive. And also how many patients were diagnosed with something like your high BP last year, or we can say coronavirus or something. We can easily relate it to that one. So this is very important, guys. Okay, when you look at the data, when you going as a data analyst in your organization, your role is the data analyst, and definitely this is the way you actually going to work on it, right? So some company has given you as a data analyst in their organization, And this is the way like you need to think. Of course, there is a four types. Those four types we are talking about: descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Artificial intelligence and machine learning comes into the last two categories. Even if you are not studied the previous data, it is very difficult to predict the future data. So definitely we need to have very good insights on these four types basically, right? So first one, descriptive, we already spoke, it is historical one. Diagnostic statistics, it's come something is called the why did we only sell X cars last years? What is the reason behind this? Why did these patients develop the high BP? Okay, understanding the cause. It's nothing but finding the root cause. Okay, and the predictive analytics is something like if I run the X advertising programs, how many cars can I sell? Right. So this is something called prediction. So, for example, if I give my okay thumbs up company, understand that there's a Coca-Cola company or thumbs up company. If they do advertising with the big star, how many sales I can do with the upcoming summer, right? So, or if I do the new ad, is that sales going to be increase or not? It's all like business, right? Everywhere is business is happening. So this predictive analytics is helps a lot to the grow the business, what I can say, customers or whatever way you can call it as product sale or anything we can say like that. So last one is the prescriptive analytics. This is where like how can we make it happen? So what we need to do with to sell X number of cars, and this is nothing but the business modeling. That's where we build it, and this is also very important. But let me tell you with the technical way, descriptive analytics basically we use the KPI dashboards. Okay, key performance improvement dashboards we use into descriptive analysis, and diagnostics statistics we use the something called principal component analysis. PCA will come into the picture. The predictive analytics is always like predictive modeling and machine learning, and the last one is the AI recommendation engines. So all recommendation engines, for example, Netflix and YouTube, Google use a lot this prescriptive analytics in their programming. So mostly deep learning and neural networks come into the picture here, and also reinforcement learning. So this is more into this one. The predictive analytics is general basic machine learning, and prescriptive analytics is like completely bringing the DL, like deep learning, AI recommendation engines and all, right? So this is which is very important what we are studying in the data analysis. Okay, actually now when you talk about ML and DL is actually part of the data analytics. It's a big tree, and in that big tree there's these two are falls under these two analytics. Okay, so try to understand the big picture. Okay, that's where this session is all about. And the next one is most important thing, data set. Where should I get the data, right? This is the question. Where should I get the data? Okay, if you're working in the organizations, the client is the responsible to provide the data to you. But what if I'm an individual, I'm working on my own POC, or like I'm working on my own product or project? So where should I get the data? So now, maybe in 2 3 years back, the data repositories are less. But if you see in internet world, there are so many data repositories, but few of them is I listed here, but there are so many. Okay. So anyway, I will share that link also with you. There is one GitHub link is there. We can find all the data repositories in that link itself. I will share with you. Okay, so most people use the Kaggle, Datadog, Wolf 538, and we use the machine learning repository UCI and driven data, many things. Even YouTube also came up with something called YouTube 8M. This is for the video analytics if you are using it. And US government have the data, the Google, AWS, these are all like already given the data for us. Even Microsoft is, I'm not listed here. Even Microsoft is also providing the data for us. And interesting thing is that if you want images database, there is a separate image slides also there. You can look at your this we can use this images data set here, and the movie lens is also there. So these data basically we can use. So what I mean to say that there are so many. Okay, I'm not denying the fact that you may know other data sets, but as we already committed that we are going to prepare separate Excel sheet, and we are going to list all these repositories and respective web links, and if anyone is going to use it, you can go and use it. Okay, I'm already started preparing that one. So all the tools and data repositories, each and every link, we are going to prepare one Excel sheet. Okay, one documentation actually. So in our open source community, we can go and use it. Anybody wants to, but that is in the read-only format until you specify that, okay, there is some tool is missing and the owners of that document is going to update in that and it is going to be reference for you. So we'll maintain the repository. We'll maintain the one separate documentation for all these tools, guys, because so that is going to be our daily practice because these data which is we need. Maybe see, for example, I want image data set, so Kaggle is not the best source to find the image data sets. So I need to go to some other data repository, right? So if I want video data sets, because I'm working on the video analytics, I need video related to data. So I have to go to some other data. So the video, images, something which is there in the flat files, different data is there. So different document based data is there. I want to deal with those kind of data. Definitely I need to depending on the repositories. And remember, all these are the public repositories. Anybody can access. So these are all open source so communities, so you can access anytime. And even not only the US government, there are other even Indian government, other governments also providing the data. So you can go and download the data. And also I will give you one link. For example, if you're working on the social media or you are working on the healthcare or different domains, we can also get the data from there. Because without data, we can't start anything, right? Definitely. And don't always think like data is in the form of the CSV file, because I know that most of the people who trained with the machine learning, they use only CSV, but we have to go into the beyond next level. So we need to use the different formats of the files basically. Okay, next one, challenges of the data analytics. What are the challenges generally we actually face when it comes to the data analytics part? In the sense, the first one is the collecting the real-time data, which is a more and big challenge even for the clients, and that's something which is always there. And data from the multiple sources. So moving to the next one, the amount of the data being collected. So it's always important, guys, how much data you collected. Are you trying the model with the 20 GB data or like 10 MB data? Is it the 25 GB, 35 GB? And more importantly, the data which you collected, is it the relevant data or irrelevant data? If the data is in the form of the structure or unstructured, is it the data in the form of the text format or image format? So all these things you have to do the analysis. These all comes under the analysis part. So you can't go and build a model without doing the analysis. And also the analysis, there is so many steps are there, but we can talk later. But these steps, these are the challenges generally every company is facing nowadays, right? So getting the right data and from the different sources, and how much data you collected from those sources is the question. The last one is the transforming the data, right? So we don't directly hit the master database from the because the client is already maintaining the master database. We don't hit the master database and take the data, right? We use something ETL processings like Informatica or some other tools we use to extract the data from the master and to the some other schema databases, or we can say non-schema also, some databases. So master and in between we have the intermediate schema databases are there. We use the intermediate schema databases to read the data. Not only database, we may use the different flat file system or different infrastructure, but we never going to be hit the master data. It is not allowed basically. Okay, so that's where this transforming the data comes into the picture. Talk about the problem. Okay, so the first one, let's talk about the pandas, because most of the people use the pandas, and more importantly, pandas is not large data sets. Spelling is wrong there. Actually, spelling is wrong. So pandas is not for the large data sets. Data we work with the small enough and to fit in one RAM, the pandas is amazing. But often in reality, we have to deal with the much larger data sets in size of several gigabytes or larger. So in such cases, pandas may not cut it. The pandas is designed to work only in the single core, right? So that's what I can say, that pandas is designed to work on the single core only. So that's where the actually we talk about the parallel processing, right? So we don't run on the one CPU. We actually use the multiple CPUs, multiple processing units. That's where this parallel processing come into the picture. So what is the parallel processing? Okay, so parallel processing, like you need to run the execution of the task on the multiple systems. Okay, and also there is a difference between the synchronized processing and asynchronized processing. So don't get into that statement at this moment. We'll talk later because there is a flow. I am going through it now. Parallel processing, again, we have the two things comes into the picture: synchronization, asynchronization. So now it is a question to you. You just go and verify: is it the parallel processing comes under the synchronization or asynchronizations? Anybody guess? Anybody guess? Okay, everybody silent. Okay, I'm getting answers on the chat box. Exactly right. It's a synchronization basically. So parallel processing, it is a synchronization, guys. Okay. The parallel processing is the mode of operation where the task is executed simultaneously. That's where synchronization comes in the multi-processors in the same computer. So I can use a multiple processors, or I can say multiple CPUs. I can run my operation or my task executed on the simultaneously. Okay. So who is, I mean, how can I do in the Python? What are the capables? You can use MODIN, okay, which is a more preferred package we can use. We can use the task, we can use the RAID. These are the three preferred, what I can say, libraries when it comes to the parallel processing. Okay, just for POC, excuse me, just for POCs and all, we don't need to use this. But when it comes to the parallel processing, more than one CPU, when you're dealing with the data analytics, then that's where this actually comes into the picture, guys. Then what is the question now? What is MODIN? So MODIN is the Python library, okay, that can be used to replace the pandas, especially while dealing with the huge data set processing. The MODIN is the capable of speeding up the panda script up to the 4x rate. And Modin actually runs, this Modin actually runs with the Ray and Dask. But actually, without Dask and Ray, we can't run the Modin. So it is a dependency. Okay. So what does Modin do differently? So Modin enables you to use all the CPU cores available in your machine, unlike Pandas. When you run the same code with the 4 processors instead of one, the time taken decreases significantly, basically. Okay, we can simply say that Modin paralyzes the entire Panda operations. More important thing is one more point I'm going to tell you. Example, you are written entire code in the Pandas. You've done the data analyticals in the Pandas. But suddenly client said that, hey, you use the 10 GB data for the data analysis, but now I have the 200 GB or 2000 GB data is there. So suddenly we can't change that code, right? That time there is a Python is provided this Modin. You just add a single line code on the top of your import statements, and this Modin will take care for you. It will increase the process rate. I'm telling you the situation. You have written the code in the pandas. There are so much code you are written, but after a few days, the client said that, okay, we are increasing this so much data to train the model. That time we have to do the analysis. So we can't go and change the entire code because a lot of efforts are required. Again, manpower, many things is involved. So that's case like you can use the Modin and it is a single line of the code. We can say that import I can say that import modin.pandas as PD or like as MPD we can work on it. But anyway, I will show you this example in tomorrow, day after, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow session. I will definitely show you the differences. When you execute the CSV file with the pandas, what is the rate of time? And we execute the same CSV file with the Modin, what is the rate of time? Okay, but and also yeah, we can increase the CPUs also in your system, but as of now I'm using one CPU only. But if anybody is using in your computers multiple processors, you are using it, and it is the best use case you can execute in your computer to check that how this the Modin is capable of the parallel processing. Okay, So last one is to install this modin. There is a two ways. We can use the pip install modin, and also we can use the command call. In Anaconda platforms, we use the command name called the quanda install -c quanda forge modin. So directly try to install it quanda modin, install modin. It won't work sometimes. So that is the reason I specifically mentioned the installation command here. Okay. So anyway, you can also type in the Google, you'll get this command. But in case, no need to spend too much of time on this. You can just take this. Anyway, all these PDFs I'm going to upload into the GitHub by Sunday. Tomorrow I'm a little busy. Sunday I will upload all the PDFs, whatever we discussed on the from the day one. I will update it into the repository GitHub. I will share this not these PPTs, sorry, all these keynotes I will share with you. You can verify it whenever you have some time. Okay, so that's all about this. Let me go and type here Apache superset, which is very popular, right? That's what I said. So now I'm going to open this one, which is actually from the Apache Software Foundation. So we'll see here it's a modern data exploration and visualization platform. And more importantly, most of the tools will confuse you. They will say that we can use that tool for the analysis purpose and also visualization. It's not a confusion. Basically, it is a true. Nowadays, these tools, how they are building, right? We can use for the two purposes. Visualization is also part of analysis. Okay, just think in that way. Visualizing the data is also part of analysis actually. Okay, but I separated the, just for understanding way, I separated this data analytics is a separate one, data visualization is a separate one. We are not discussed about so far data visualization tools, but few of the tools are involved in the visualization platform. So you can have a look into it, this superset. So you can visualize the data like this, guys. You can see, you can upload the data set. Okay, and you run the data sets, and we can see how to visualize the data. So maybe JSON format, .csv, HTML page, any kind of data which we can use. This is one of the interesting thing. Okay, and it supports that there are so many databases. You can see there are so many SQL, NoSQL, and different types of the databases we have. Okay, it's very very interesting, and you just go and explore. This is a trending now. Okay, so yeah, you can also go to the directly to the GitHub and have a look into it. What are the contributors, what are the issues? Basically it is a source code of the superset. Okay, as it is an open source platform from the Apache. So let's move on to the three tools which we are talking about. The one is the pandas, the next one is the dask, another one is the MOBIN, right? So these are the three tools which we are actually looking at now. Okay, so MODIN and Ray. So what is that basically? If I go to this MODIN and Python, you just type here, go to their website. So there is a documentation for this. Just go to this documentation. So installation steps are easy, but I'm going to show you that how to work on it. But the command is very simple command. So to use the MODIN, replace the pandas import with this command. Just single line. Okay, nothing much here. So you can use it. You'll come to know this one, but this is actually you need to install first Ray and Dask, then only it can be installed. Okay, but if you want to install the supported what I can say libraries, you can use the MODIN in the square bracket all. This will be installed all the dependencies of the MODIN when you're using the pip command. Okay, so this is I will definitely I will share with you guys. You can see here the processing time they are showing about. The pandas is took the 31.4 and this is took the 7.73, right? So it is a 4x rate basically, right? So that's what the documentation is also telling. And even for 700 MB, okay, you can try this one in your local when, if you have some time today or tomorrow. But anyway, day after tomorrow in the evening, I will definitely showcase not only this feature, there are other features also there with this MODIN. We are going to talk about that. So this is really, really important, useful. But you know pandas better, you can use the on top of this one single line code, and you can rest of the code is same code only, same data frames, the same thing. That is the same way we can use it. And the next one is yesterday also I spoken about. This one is something is called dask. and you can also see the comparisons between the task and MODIN. So, but anyway, let's go to the first task. Okay, so I'm just going to type here the task, and which is the analytical tools, which is from the Python's source itself. Yesterday we are talking about this one. I think people who are joined, they know. So this is the documentation. We can use it for the data frames, arrays. So this is mainly for the parallel computing. When you are doing with the parallel computing, this is mostly user tool. And this is actually internally we can use the scikit image, numpy, panda, scikit-learn. And these are the another tools we have it. There are so many tools we are seeing it, right? For example, Snorkel, you can see here programmatically build training data for machine learning. So you just go and have a look into these tools as well. But this is can be integrated with all these kind of data tools. So don't scare, guys. We don't really, it is not required every tool we need to learn. Okay. But why I'm talking just task and all here, because right, in the today's we actually use the parallel computing a lot, right? So executing the task on the multiple processors, which is a very common thing when you have the huge data. So that is the reason I'm talking about the task, and we don't need to learn all these tools. Not really needed. Okay, so if you're interested, go and explore it basically. Okay, so this is one of the interesting tool, but I will take you 1.5 hour session for this task, how to write a commands, what are the use cases we can explore it.